Eyes go when they die.
You're the most cold-blooded man I've ever seen.
How can you have any meat if you don't eat your pudding?
The Tommy Boyds Show.
Back to the left. Yeah.
The show with more endurance than radiation itself.
You say either, and I say either.
Apparently official. Stand by, please.
Tommy Boyds.
Apparently official.
Have you no compassion?
Stand by, please.
Let's rehang the pictures
In the gallery of life.
Radio can be very one-to-one, and if you've heard the promotional material, trailers or whatever we call them for the programme, then you'll have some idea of what it is I would like to talk about. It is an issue in a sense, so I mean, we can pretend it's proper radio if you want to, and we can make points. We can certainly engage in a little bit of analysis if you want to play tea room psychologist. Hey, I have no problem with that. I want to know whether I have a problem of a personal nature. You see, I don't think I have. Before I just give you the background very quickly, I'm told that 8 out of 10 married couples also enjoy or experiment with or have tried this way of enhancing their love lives. Yeah, breathing a little bit of extra life into romance, which romance can often fizzle a bit, can't it? It can often get a bit, dry and dusty and samey and things like that, and people wonder what to do. And so they play the pina colada song game with their partner, turning up at the wine bar and pretending that they've never met. But that doesn't work, does it, for crying out loud? What happened, it was quite odd. It was a couple or 3 weeks ago, and it was a Friday evening, and the boys were out, and Jane and I were in the kitchen, and we ended up having an argument. And she called me a fourth magnitude throwback to the 70s, amongst other things. And the argument went dirty-dirty-dur, and it sort of stuck in my mind, the phrase. And anyway, we made up and we decided to have an early night. Now, okay, nothing unusual so far, right? Then we're cuddling up, and we've been together for 20 years, Jane, we know each other quite well. We're cuddling up, and, it's often hard, isn't it, it's not often hard, that's the problem. And I found myself saying to her, call me those names again. And she did, without batting an eyelid. It was almost as though instinctively she knew that it was fun. So she called me names again, she humiliated me. And it was great. I have no idea why, but it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. It worked. It worked wonders. It put a real spring back into a step. But now I want to know more about this particularly exciting and interesting and totally harmless way of enjoying your love for your partner to the full. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I decided, yes, we would talk about it because a couple of days ago when we took a call from a lady who works for a living professionally, is a professional sex therapist, well, hooker, and she said that whenever she went out on her job, she would carry a Gladstone bag with her, and amongst the accessories, which were very, very popular, the most popular, was a cane and a pair of handcuffs. And I must admit, I found the whole image distracting in the nicest possible way. And quite a few of the chaps around here at Talk who were listening said they too sort of went, like that, All very interesting, all very odd. And I can hark back as well to a programme which we did about bedroom furniture, when we were talking to one lady listener about the contents of her bedside cabinet, which is always quite interesting. Usual sorts of things. Oh, an old gobstopper, blah-de-blah. And she said, and a pair of handcuffs. You see. So I understand that what I'm interested in finding out a bit more about is apparently the world of S&M and D&B and bondage. There, yeah, bondage. Bondage. You see, because on the following Sunday when the boys were out, keeping the whole thing going, she she got a couple of old ties that I'm never likely to wear again out of the wardrobe, and just knotted me up to the headboard with both hands, and then she went downstairs to watch the EastEnders omnibus, and it was great. And I just lay there, because she said to me, "You're a control freak." Apparently I am. "And you like to boss people around." Apparently I do. She said, "Now you can find out what it's like to be not in control at all, and to have somebody else boss you about." And the extraordinary thing was, it was enjoyable, but for reasons I cannot possibly begin to explain. So what I thought we'd do on an entirely personal level, this is just friends talking here, this is not proper radio. I just wonder whether you, or somebody else listening, might be able to shed a little bit of light on this whole new, rather exciting and interesting world. What do I need if I want to find out more? Where does one go? What else can one do between, remember, consenting, adult, heterosexuals, in our case? Free call 0500 1053 89, especially if you've tried it, especially if you often try it. Just love to know more, you know. And obviously, since what we're talking about is fairly grown up, if you're going on the school run, you may like to be aware that this is what we're talking about this afternoon, and you may care perhaps to have the radio down or off once you pick them up and you're on your way home. So it's all men and women together, and we're discussing this rather fascinating world. Who's paid it a visit? S&M and D&B. Yeah. The number is free call 0500 1053 89. Now, I'm Tommy Boyd, and this is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Els is in the kitchen.
Hey, girls, why not phone up Tommy now and tell him what a jug-headed, peanut-brained, weasel-faced, fourth-magnitude misfit from the 70s he is on free call 0500 1053 89.
Oh, that was good. Say that again. Do you see what I mean? Why does it work? Why does it work for so many people, men in particular, being told off by women? Free call 0500 1053 89. Karen calls from Manchester. Hello, Karen.
Oh, hi. Hi, Tommy. Well, it started off, we've got a new bed, and we've got, like, bedstead heads on, you know, like the old ones with bars on. Yeah. And I said, "Let me tie up." He said, "No." I said, "Oh, go on, just for a bit of fun, yeah." But I've got a naughty sense of humour, so I got the ties out of the wardrobe, tied him by his hands on his feet as well, yeah.
So you had him spread eagled?
Yeah.
Did you tie him properly so that he couldn't have got out?
He thought it was a laugh at first, and when he realised he couldn't get undone, he started to panic a bit.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Right, I'm going to go down and do the part." He said, "You're not?" I said, "Don't you dare leave this room, untie me, like." Yeah. I said, "No," so I went down and washed up. And he was, by the time I got upstairs, he was getting a bit frantic, really.
Was he?
Yeah, but then, like, yeah, you go ahead and do what comes natural, and...
Did it work for him? Is it something that he's hinted that he wouldn't mind you doing again?
He didn't say anything. He just said, "I'm glad you untied me," but he quite liked the sexual side of it. Good. I think, yeah, when you do what you do.
With you being able to do whatever you wanted to do.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so funny, especially when he got cross. He wanted to be untied, and I wanted to untie him when I wanted to untie him, not when he told me to, and that's the power trip, I think, comes into it.
But did that feel arousing for you, or was that just kind of like a reinforcing thing for you, and did it turn you on?
No, it didn't turn me on. I just thought it was so funny. It was more like tormenting, really.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was okay with it.
Yeah. You know, he'll never be able to wear those ties again.
No.
Not just because they're crinkled, but it's just that they'll always remind him.
Yeah. I made sure I did it really tight. I mean, I'd left marks on his wrists and ankles. Yeah.
Are you gonna go on with this now? Is this now an interest of yours, do you suppose?
No, I want to go on. I want to spank him now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, been married for 20 years and it gets boring after that.
Yeah.
And you want to do something new.
Have you spoken to him about your need to spank him?
No. No.
Right. How are you going to work that one then? This is where we need advice, you see, you and me, because you and I are both youngsters in this new pursuit, aren't we? We're just finding our way, feeling our way.
Feeling our way, yeah.
I must say, you know, it looks good to me, it sounds good to me. Hey, it doesn't hurt anybody, does it?
No, I mean, I'm not going to really hurt him. I'm not into that.
No.
But I'd like him to wear a nice black pair of silk underpants, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to sort of have him over my knee and spank. Yeah, I like to see his bottom go nice and pink.
What with?
Yeah, my hand.
With your hand?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to use whips and stuff like that.
No.
No, just forging on a kinky knot. Really, AC/DC, yeah.
No.
Yeah, because he's got a lovely bum.
He
so,
has.
I like it nice and pink.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, a lot of women say that the most attractive part of the man's anatomy is his bottom.
Yeah.
And now here you are after, you've been married for a few years.
Yeah.
Perhaps
yeah.
you said you were going around the houses a little bit. Now you've found out something you can do with it.
Yeah, this is right. And we've done the baby oil bit and all that. So you've got to keep it alive, haven't you?
Well, is it something you could talk to your friends about?
No.
No.
No, not really.
But you're comfortable talking about it on the radio?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm very grateful for your call.
Yeah, okay then. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen.
Bye.
Just for you.
Yeah.
Free call 0500 1053 89 is the number. We're discussing a scene, and as I say, if you've got children coming back into the house, you may decide that it's something you'd like to listen to by yourself on the radio. But we're talking about something which apparently, I read, 8 out of 10 couples have experimented in or thought about and have practiced together. And I remember the Conservative conference is on at the moment. And I remember some years ago when Edwina Currie made her bow to the nation. It was on the subject of law and order. And Lord Gowrie, who was no longer in politics, he was the arts minister at the time, he was sat in the front row, she fished out a pair of handcuffs and dangled them from the podium. And he reported, it's in his book, that he felt a bat's squeak of desire. And there is something about handcuffs, isn't there? And the whole business, I mean, what do you use? Do you do it? 8 out of 10 couples. That means that this particular romantic pursuit is more popular, for example, than homosexuality. And yet it's never discussed. It doesn't play a part in art or literature, does it? And yet everybody does it. The vast majority of you do it. I've just discovered it, and I think it looks great. Free call 0500 1053 89. But like anybody else, I need reassurance. And I need some tips. Michael has called from Hull. You're on Talk Radio. Michael, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Get her to dress up like a prostitute. Makes her work harder, Tommy.
And then what?
Well, if you promise to pay her, and then she likes, if you just start talking to her and saying, oh, look, you're not as good as the last one, she'll work a bit harder for you. And then right at the end of the night, you just say, well, you're only for me and all that. And it's fine, right at the end of the night.
But this is role-playing.
Yes. It's another side of it,
It's not the same thing at all. It's another way of spicing up one's love life, but it's not what I'm actually talking about this afternoon, something that I've just discovered, which I believe is called S&M. Do you know what that stands for?
Yeah. Well, I'm only on the same road as you, Tommy. I've only just discovered it.
Do you know what D&B stands for?
No, I know the S&M. I don't know what the D&B is, though.
Domination and bondage.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that could be the next step from your role-playing, couldn't it?
But is it ever anything that's crossed your mind under any circumstances that you'd quite like to be tied up?
I don't know. She suggested it a few times.
Has she?
Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah, she suggested.
And you said what? You said no?
I've said go on then. But by the time she's got round to it, it's a bit tired. But it sounds pretty good, though.
The last caller, Karen, would very much like to spank her husband. If your wife said, come here, over my knee, I'm going to spank you, how would you feel about that?
I would give it a go.
You'd give it a go?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, there was a TV programme on the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was the bondage and...
Listen, I'll be honest with you, pal. I think your kind of laissez-faire attitude towards all of this is a bit fake.
No, it isn't.
I think it is.
No.
I think you're being deliberately gauche here.
I'm quite prepared to take anything on.
No,
Tommy.
you like it. The laugh, it was all in the laugh. Thank you for your call, Michael. Free call 0500 1053 89. All next week, Talk Radio's playing. Now that's what I call English with IKEA. And you could win thousands of pounds worth of prizes by telling us what Englishness means to you. Whatever your point of view, whether it's something that irritates you or makes you proud, we'll find the perfect prize. If you feel with IKEA, there's a good argument for listening.
10:53.
Yes?
10:89 a.m.
What's that?
Talk Radio.
Tommy Boyds. Hello? He's on the radio, so he must be right.
1, pew, 2, pew, 3, Barnum, 4, McGrew, 5, Cuthbert, 6, Dibble, 7,
Boyd.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You might be my wife, but you've been a very naughty girl. I want you to go upstairs and change into your pajamas and wait for me. Now, apparently, that's very romantic as far as some people are concerned. But now what do I do? I'm just discovering this whole wonderful new world of initials. S, M, D, B. It's great, but I'm a rookie. Help! What do I do? Statistics show that 8 out of 10 couples have or experimented in this wacky, literally wacky, wonderful world. Sammy's in Kent. You're on Talk Radio. Sammy, good afternoon.
Hi there.
Sammy.
I love S&M. It's brilliant. My husband and I, we both work together. He doesn't like being tied up as much as I'd like to do it, but occasionally, one funny occasion, just this year actually, we in our shop, we got our own shop, let's say, and I can't tell you the job. We've got chains, and I chained him up at the back of the shop. Nothing on, whipped his trousers down, started, okay, oral sex with him, and lo and behold, someone walks in the shop out the front. He panicked quickly. I just left him there. And I started chatting to the customer in the front of the shop. He was in such a panic that they could just walk through at any minute. Get out of that, eh?
You're very lucky that you've got the right equipment at work, but what have you got at home?
At home, I've got a couple of pair of handcuffs in the drawer.
Really?
He doesn't like being cuffed, but I really love being spanked myself, actually. That really turns me on.
Right.
But he's not really into so much. I personally like a little bit of pain, but he's not really into that so much. So
if we're
he's got to
spanking
be in
you,
the mood for
we
it,
have
really.
we have to hurt.
I like it. If you're going to spank me, I want it to sting.
Right.
He doesn't like to actually hurt. He says, no, it's too hard. But I like to be spanked right hard. And ice cubes are great fun as well.
Sure. With something or with the hand?
Hand. Yeah. Brilliant.
Right. And when you cuff your hubby, you cuff him to the bed, or you cuff his hands behind his back?
No, we've not got a bed with posts, unfortunately.
You see, silly you.
Yeah, stupid. No, so I actually cuff him hands behind his back. And I like to restrict it. I like being in control.
I've always wondered, you see, for years I wondered why some people had iron bedsteads.
Yeah, I know.
But now we know, don't we?
Bed. Well, it's just as fun. Actually, fact, it's more fun if you handcuff them behind their back.
Yeah.
They're more vulnerable. That's good.
Sammy, thank you for your call.
That's all right. Thanks for that.
Free call 0500 1053 89. We're discussing what turns out to be an extremely popular pursuit between law-abiding, happy, healthy, heterosexual couples, but possibly gay people as well, I don't know. But apparently it is more popular even than homosexuality. It's this business of S and M and D and B, and finding oneself romantically interested in somebody who's being rude to you and having your bottom smacked. It's extraordinary when you think about it. Isn't it fantastic being a human being? What a ludicrous magical mystery tour these 70-odd years are for all of us. Well, anyway, I've just stumbled on it, but I want to know a little bit more. You've tried it. Free call 0500 1053 89. Any advanced tips? Fiona calls from South London. Fiona, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Hi. No advanced tips. Ex-inmate from prison. And I'd say that there's domination and submission games going on there. A few of the female officers used to have handcuff earrings. They used to play games a bit. But I've never come across it before. And, of course, there's the uniform thing. And, of course, it's not just heterosexual. It's gay. So I went to a women's prison. I don't think they have loads of gay male officers, but that's the first time I've come across it, and I actually caught one of the officers chasing one of the youngsters up and down the gangway, and she was playing games. It was domination and submission, yeah? And when she got the girl at the other end, she was playfully slapping her about. It was horseplay, admittedly.
Yeah.
But how can I say it? When you're there, you don't have a choice. If an officer tells you to do something, you have to do it. So you're straight away in the domination. You have to submit. Obviously, sexual things do go on, yes? Nothing actually happened to me sexually.
No.
But I'd never come across people like this before. Yeah? I can understand doing it on your own, in your own house, with a consenting adult. But I'm saying it's a dangerous borderline when it's in an institution with people in a dominant situation who have the power to do it on vulnerable people. You must.
Do it give you any ideas though? Now that you're out and you can do what you want.
I don't know. I've been single too long, so I don't know.
But it does explain the popularity of a programme called Prisoner of Cell Block H amongst a number of young men, which has always been a mystery to me.
Yeah.
But I did some work with Channel 5 not long ago, and from time to time they had to shift the transmission time of Prisoner of Cell Block H, and there used to be an absolute furore of letters whenever they did that because people used to set their videos for it. And it was always from a certain type of young man.
Yeah, also, it's men do enjoy the idea of a woman being locked up in prison. It turns them on. When I came out, it was as if I was a born-again virgin all of a sudden.
Because you've been inside?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And the men are just pouncing on you. It just absolutely fascinates them.
How extraordinary. Thank you for your call, Fiona. And then there's that pot noodle advert, which I've always found a mystery until now. But now I get it. Do you know the one I mean with the prison guard and the chap? I think it's pot noodles. And then there's that other one. You see, this thing is getting big. I'm not kidding you. S&M is the new rock and roll. Then there's that, I think it's an advert for a soft drink in which she's the boss and she tells him to get in the cupboard. And he goes in and she goes in and he comes out looking forlorn and then she watches him go and then bursts out laughing. Her with the short cropped hair. You know? I'm telling you, it's the coming thing. We're all going to be doing it. We are. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We have a serious issue on the front hob here, which is the business of S&M and D&B. So obviously if you're picking up children from school, then it's up to you whether you use this broadcast for educational purposes or keep it a private broadcast between ourselves as adults. That's your choice. Steve calls from North Hants. Steve, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy. My wife won't dominate me.
Ah.
She likes to be dominated.
Oh.
But she won't dominate me.
You're halfway there.
We're halfway there, yeah. It's just that I'm quite a big guy. I'm 6'4", 18 stone.
Yes.
And I like to be dominated. But she just can't do it.
So you're two M's, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're an M&M.
Well, we've got around this. We've actually met friends. And our friend, his wife's a very nice, petite woman, but she likes to dominate.
Right.
So she has a chance of dominating me.
I see. So the four of you get together at weekends?
Odd occasions, yes.
Odd occasions?
Yes.
Privacy of own home?
That's right.
And, right, so the doorbell goes. Coats are taken.
Well, sometimes we go out for a drink first to a nightclub and then we come back afterwards.
Right.
And then things just evolve from there.
Such as?
Well, things like the last time we had fun with a cricket bat.
Understood.
She wanted to experiment to see if we would like to take a cricket bat, so we had a cricket bat. But my wife's favourite thing is a thin leather strap.
Your wife has a thin leather strap?
Yes.
Which...
She enjoys being spanked with that.
She likes to be spanked with a thin leather strap?
Yes.
Has she ever explained why?
Yeah, it's just...
You can't, can you?
It's just the hot feeling you get. Well, when...
Nobody can... It's totally inexplicable. People say there's a mystery about, for example, gay sex, but it's not as big a mystery as this one. Yeah, apparently it's enormously popular, pal. You're more normal than people who don't do it. Did you know?
Well, I didn't know that, no.
You're in the majority. No, wait. We're in the majority. Because I'm just discovering this world, and I've got to say, it's fun.
Hey, Tommy, it is fun. It's you got to try it to know what it's like.
Well, Steve, thank you for your call.
Thank you very much.
A thin leather strap, eh?
Yeah.
What an adventure it is being a Homo sapien. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Debbie's next, calling from Rugby. Debbie, hello.
Hi, Tommy. How you doing?
Welcome to Talk Radio.
And nice to join in your conversation. I've got my handcuffs here. Can you hear them?
No, give them a good old rattle.
Hang on.
Can you open them and shut them so that you get that ratchet noise?
Oh, hang on a second. I don't know if I've got the key. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Here we go. Hang on. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I did. Apparently that's what does it for a lot of people. Just that sound.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
I've done my research. You have to. But I'm also quite interested.
Really?
It's a human thing. It's a personal thing.
Well, that's just one set, obviously. That's my side of the bed.
You've got a set on your side of the bed?
I haven't got another set on the other side.
I see.
Lockable ones, nice heavy metal ones.
Mm.
They're lovely.
Okay, and how do you use them?
Well, I'm married to somebody a lot younger than me, and I just love his skin, and he handcuffs me to the bed so that I can't touch him, and and then he blindfolds me with silky tights, so I can't touch him or feel, or I don't know what's going to happen next, and it drives me mad. In
the nicest possible way.
Oh no, it's there's nothing deviant about it. It's just fun, and it is so frustrating that I can't feel him.
To be honest, it sounds as though if it is something that 80% of the population enjoy, it's the very opposite of deviancy, isn't it?
It's a bit of fun.
Not doing it is deviant. It looks like. Yes, it's the coming thing.
I mean, I bought him these handcuffs and a little gun with caps in and all this for Christmas last year. Because I thought, you know what men are like, men and their toys.
And at the moment, it just involves bondage.
Well, I don't know what, he blindfolds me. And then I don't know when he's going to kiss me or touch me
Right.
And I can't reach out and touch him, which is the worst part, because I just love...
Is it something you talk about with your friends?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Why not?
How many of them play the same games?
They'd love to. They just haven't got anybody as beautiful to play with as me.
How old were you when you found out that this was the kind of thing that you'd enjoy?
Well, he kept threatening to do it to me, and he said, I'm going to get them out. I said, you're not. And then a few months ago, to be honest with you, just for a gag,
A gag? Very good.
For a gag. Excuse the pun. I got this thick, you know this tape that you do at parcels and stuff with?
Yes.
You know the stuff I mean? And he was saying, he has to be at work at 8:30. So at 8:20, I taped him round and 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 round, and I wouldn't let him go to work. And I rang his office and said, I'm afraid he won't be in for a little while because he's tied up at the moment.
This is a big win situation for him, isn't it?
Pardon?
He has some fun, and somebody else phones in and makes his excuses for him.
Right. I said, I'm afraid he can't come to work because he's rather tied up at the moment. And I said, okay, he'll be in as and when. They said, right.
And now that you found this weird and wacky world and wonderful world, are you going to keep things moving?
It's just...
To try new things?
It's just fun. Huh. It's nothing we think about. They're just attached to the bed, and the children just think, I like your handcuffs. They think, that's cool.
Your children have found the handcuffs?
Yeah, well, they don't. Well, it's what you make of it, isn't it? I handcuff them to that. I say, right, I'm going to take you my prisoner now. And they think it's hilarious.
Sorry, your handcuffs are permanently chained to the bed?
They're here. Can't you hear them?
Oh, you're in bed now?
I'm on the bed now.
You're on the bed now?
Now. As I talk to you, they're here. They're attached.
Thank you for your call. And I think I know what Gowrie meant about the bat's squeak. Tony calls and we'll speak to him in just a moment in Essex. Free call 0500 1053 89.
Who are you calling? Tommy Boyds.
Another look at the twisting maggots in the deepest recesses of the human soul.
Oh, man!
On the Tommy Boyds Show.
This afternoon, S&M and D and B. So, really, if the children have come home, I should have the radio on in the kitchen and have them watch television. Free call 0500 1053 89. But apparently it's huge. It's gigantic. I've only just stumbled on it, but apparently everybody else is doing it, and it's big. The world of advertising, music, television, and movies. They're all waking up to this business where people get tied up and sometimes spank each other for fun. It's going to be enormous. And Tony calls from Essex. Tony, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy. How are you?
I'm well.
Right. I've been on the scene now for approximately 20 to 25 years. in that time, I've seen a lot of changes to the lifestyle elements of S&M. And what you say, D&B, is actually called B&D.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, thank
Bondage
you.
and domination.
B&D, thank you.
That's the correct word, correct?
Thank you very much. B&D.
B&D. As in like CP, corporal punishment.
Oh, right. Oh, S&M, CP, and BD. Is it BD or B&D?
B&D.
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 Okay.
I said about 20 years now I've been on the scene.
On the scene?
Been a professional now for the last 10 years.
What?
Been a professional master.
Can you do this for a living?
Yes.
Holy shamoly.
And there's quite a few people about like this as well.
Can you do this for a living?
Yes.
Holy shamoly.
And there's quite a few people about like this as well. It's a big club.
You didn't get us down at the job centre, did you, pal?
No, I didn't, no.
So, who are your customers?
Primarily females.
No.
I work in the London home counties areas. And I've got on my books probably about 250, 300 women.
Really?
Areas. And I've got on my books probably about 250, 300 women.
Really?
I see, yeah.
You see?
Yeah, quite regularly. I see at least 2 a day.
You visit them at their place, or do you have a sort of an office?
Oh, no, normally I go to them. It's
I see.
visiting only.
I see.
I was just amazed the first time we've advertised my services. The response was tremendous.
Where did you advertise?
I was just in magazines in London, specialist magazines.
Right, understood.
Advertised my services, and the response and the demand was so great.
And they want you to come round and boss them around?
Oh, I tie them up.
Tie them up?
Whip them, spank them, treat them like a dog, treat them like a slave. Anything what they desire.
And business is booming?
It is indeed.
Getting bigger?
Oh yeah, all the time.
And I know this will make me sound like Queen Elizabeth II, but you must have seen, as you hinted, a great many changes in your 25 years.
I've seen it become from very, let's say, the same as on the back burner. Something some people talked about, but not a lot of people discussed in depth. But nowadays it's become so commercialised.
Commercialised?
It is.
What do you mean?
As you rightly said about TV shows and now on S&M and bondage.
Yeah.
Musicals in the newspapers.
Are there musicals?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I've seen some musicals in the States. Since I'm involved in S&M.
I see. And when you're working, do you find it as stimulating as if you're involved as it is if you're involved in it for pleasure?
Oh yeah, of course. I do love the scene anyway. It's a lifestyle thing more than anything else.
I see.
I mean, if I'm going to see a lady, if she's got a certain desire or fantasy, then I will fulfil that.
So you sit them down beforehand and you discuss it?
Oh yes, of course.
I see. You take notes and all that.
Well, I mean, I know most of my clients now. I know what their interests are.
Yes.
And I do use role playing and fantasy scenarios.
Right. What do you often then?
Sorry?
What's a popular role that you have to play?
Oh, a burglar, kidnapping.
A burglar?
Yeah.
People pay you to come around and pretend to be a burglar?
Oh, I don't actually burgle the house as such.
No, of course you don't.
But yeah, I mean, I go around and then we go through the scenario. Then I'll be kidnapped, overpowered, taken out into the woods. I've had women inside the trees in forest. All things like that. And you'd be surprised, like, the imagination that certain females have got when it comes to this type of thing.
Talk radio's advertising rates are very reasonable. I don't know whether you ever thought about...
I don't think you'd be allowed, would it?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's about the
I certainly find it interesting. And
it's no different from having a shiatsu massage, or isn't it? Is it?
No, that's boring, isn't it?
Or a sauna.
That's boring. But I mean, when you like the amount of women that's calling your program today.
Yes.
As you say, about 80% of the population, that's probably true as it goes. It's just that probably 70% of them won't admit it, or even decide to admit it to their partners.
Yes.
And that's the sort of things I come across with women. I'll go around and do things with them. I'll say, what about your partner or your husband? They say, I can't tell him. I say, have you discussed it? Oh, yeah, but you don't want to know. I think it's a shame, like, when people have got these, like, what they want to happen to them, and the fantasies of their partners can't get involved.
Tony, thank you very much indeed for an extremely illuminating call, wasn't it? So much else to ask. Didn't ask what he carries with him when he's going out for a day's work. Because all working men have their toolbox, don't they, and their satchel full of stuff with pens and calculators. I wonder what there is in his little bag, his suitcase. Free call 0500 1053 89, and where you get equipment like that from. Talia is on the line from Merseyside. Talia, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hiya, Tommy.
Talia, hi.
Hi. What happened to me was I used to live in a block of flats, And the girl from downstairs below came up one day, knocked the door and said, could you possibly come down? I've got a little favour to ask you. So goes downstairs. She said, come in here. We're in here. Goes into her bedroom and there's her boyfriend lay out on the bed with nothing on.
Right.
And I said, well, could you cover him up? And I asked her what she'd like me to do. And she said, could you tie him to bed for me, please? And I asked her, why she couldn't do it herself. And she said because she was too embarrassed and it was all too silly. So could I do it for her?
She was too embarrassed to tie her boyfriend up, but not too embarrassed to go up and ask a complete stranger.
That's right.
To do it.
Completely. Yeah, well, I did it.
You did it, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Did you know that you knew the bloke?
Not really.
You'd seen him on the stairs?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you tie... Yeah. Did you tie him up... It's great being... I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's great being a human being. It's so weird.
It is.
Did you tie him up for keeps? Really sort of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really. It's got to be done, hasn't it?
And what,
Got to
yes.
tie him up tight.
What was she asking you to tie him up with?
Wow, she didn't know what to use, you see, so she asked me maybe what she could use. And I said that I thought the best thing would be stockings. One, because if they crease, you can just throw them away. And they're softer on the ankles and the
wrist.
And the wrist, yeah.
Absolutely. I've always wondered why so many men have a collection of ties, many of which they would never dream of wearing. But I think I now am beginning, to tumble. I am. They're there, aren't they, in the bedroom, hanging in that thing?
They are.
There's at least 4 of them that they'll never wear.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
And now you know why. All women have so many different pairs of underwear and stockings and tights and all the other little things that women have in their drawers.
Anyway, did it open up a new world for you?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
Really?
You'll have a little go, haven't you?
Are you going to have a go on your own now?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Looking for advice and tips as we boldly go into this new dimension, SMBDCP. Talk radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Radio. The Tommy Boyds Show. Ho, ho, ho.
I think it starts for men when you're about 7 or 8 and you get a crush on your lady teacher. And she starts telling you off and telling you what to do. But I do. I really, really do. And you come to associate romance with being bossed around or maybe even slapped on the back of your legs by Miss Bryant. It didn't hurt. I didn't deserve it either. But I think that could be the reason why now, nearly 40 years on, I've experienced the bat's squeak of desire which Lord Gowrie, experienced when he saw Edwina Currie dangle some handcuffs from the podium of the Conservative Party conference some years ago. So having just found this new world, I was wondering, since it apparently is so popular, 80% of married couples have experimented with, I understand it's S&M and BD and CP, just wondered whether I could fish for a few tips. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Maria calls from Derbyshire. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Tommy.
Welcome to Talk Radio.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous, actually. I've never been on live radio before, so you'll have to excuse me.
Well, what made you phone?
Well, I sat outside school listening to your programme, and I thought, well, I'm going to rush home and talk to you and give you my reasons for enjoying S&M. But I'm locked in my bedroom right now, hoping my children don't barge in, so I'll fire away. You're looking for a few tips as to why maybe it's turning you on. You found that it's turning you on over the last few weeks we've been experimenting with your wife. Well, what I actually think is this thing of pleasure and pain, I think it's closely related, and I think that's why it turns us on. It definitely turns me on.
So what do you do?
All of it. Without going into any details.
Well, you don't have to go into the finer details, but to just,
well,
how do you
I
start?
actually like to dominate.
I see.
And obviously tying my partner down and being the one who's in total control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that's where I'm coming from. It really, really turns me on to know that under normal circumstances he could overpower me, but while he's tied down, I'm the one who's in control. And
how much time how much time then might elapse between you beginning a little fantasy like this and anything happening which, in the biological sense, passes for sex?
How much time?
Yeah. You play this game for an hour, or?
Oh, no, not that long, really, because I get too turned on and I need to really get down
Relax.
to things. Yeah.
I've got a
I would say about a quarter of an hour into it, really.
And where do you get whatever accessories you need to enjoy yourself in this way? Where do you go?
Various magazines. You can buy these sort of these things from. I've got shackles, actually, leather shackles that I use. Yeah. These ladies' parties, maybe your wife's already heard of them.
Yes. Let me bring somebody into the conversation very quickly. This hour's flown by. We must finish this conversation another day. Lee's with us, Maria, in North London. And Lee, I understand you're a manufacturer, a retailer of the accessories that we've been talking about?
I am indeed.
Hi, Lee.
Good afternoon, Tommy. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well indeed. Maria says that she prefers shackles.
That is one of my most popular selling products.
How much is a shackle?
Depends. A shackle can be a full-body kit, which means you can have a neck collar with a chain which runs down the back of the back of you, basically, through a metal D-ring, which is strong enough to be suspended from the ceiling.
See, but whoa.
You don't know. You really don't know what you touched on.
No, I'm a complete novice here. I am never going to be suspended from the ceiling.
Tommy, I'm quite happy to give your switchboard my telephone number for my place of business.
No, I can't let you sell shackles for national.
No. But
on the other hand, listen, no, if you do want to buy shackles, what else do you sell?
I actually kit out dungeons. I make.
You're joking. You'll do a dungeon?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, sure. We manufacture cages.
Oh, wait.
Steel cages. We produce dual-purpose furniture. So therefore,
I don't want to know what dual-purpose furniture is. I want to go to my grave not knowing the hell what dual-purpose furniture is. Are you with me, pal? No slight intended on your profession.
I'm sure.
You know, we're all called by God to do something mysterious. But you're out front. How would you have got on in, what was that old television quiz game? What's my line? How the hell what would you have mimed, for crying out loud? Now listen with me, this hour's gone and I'm very grateful to everybody who's rung with advice. Lee, power to your business.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for talking.
Thank you for your call. And Maria.
Thank you.
In another life, dear. Who knows what fun we could have had. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Free call 0500 1053 89. We move on to discuss, amongst other things, 25 years of commercial radio and how far to sit back from a TV screen. This is Talk Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.